Alright, so here we go. I noticed that some of these bolts are actually bolted right into the fender, and so the fiberglass might be a little bit of a challenge because these things here, these holes seem to be threaded, and the bolt that goes into it seems to be threaded also. So I'll have to think about that. Probably put a nut in behind there when I'm actually ready to put this back together on the new fender. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm just pulling these things right off. These are just tie wrapped right onto the fender. There's one here. There's another one that's still tied over here. There's one at the back down in here somewhere, and there's going to be another one a little bit further down. Now, I don't know what this is. I just called it a vacuum thing, and I pointed towards the front of the vehicle. There seems to be vacuum hoses or something attached to it. And this tube right here seems to be tie wrapped onto the brake line that comes out of this, and really doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything. It just kind of sits there. So it's tie wrapped here, and it's tie wrapped a little bit further down around the electrical of the, you see it down in there. It's kind of tie wrapped around the electrical of this bottle. So I need to get my snips and snip that off. And I think that once I'm done that, I can maybe try and remove this bottom plate down here, which I believe is maybe a secondary battery, maybe not. Because there wouldn't be room for a battery because the master cylinder is in there. But anyway, keep chugging along here, and we'll update you on the next video. Alright, so now, it was pretty simple actually. I was able to remove those guys. There's 4, 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. The last one I had to go in from the bottom here to reach out. I've heard some of the guys on YouTube say that was the hardest one to remove, but to be honest, that's wasn't very hard at all. I just crawled from underneath there. Now it's completely loose. These ones here I was able to remove also pretty simply. The two bottom ones, this guy and this guy, the actual holding device kind of either broke off or sheared or something, so I had to reach down there, and just with my fingers I was able to hold it back here, and I was able to hold the that part behind the nut or the bolt, and this way here I made it pretty simple to remove. And this one here, to be able to hold it, I had to pull back on this inner skin of some type. I guess it's some kind of rubber or something, and then by tucking my hand way behind here, I was able to hold on to it from behind, and it was pretty simple. It wasn't too difficult. So I will continue on. I will remove this skin here, and once I've removed that, I'm going to continue on, probably remove, I see 4 bolts here, 1, 2, and there's more underneath. So I'll keep you updated, and of course this guy here, which I have not removed yet. So that's the next step, and of course then I'll take this off and let you know. I'm labeling my bolts, as I mentioned before, and I can see where this is going to become very important, especially when I'm putting things back together. This one here says Fender firewall, and those are the 4 bolts that basically hold the back of the fender way back there. And I didn't want to put them back in the holes afterwards, because I'm going to have to fit those fiberglass bolts, and it's going to be quite a challenge to fit that fender through the fiberglass, and if those things are there, it'll make it a little more difficult. So I'm assuming that by doing the plastic bag approach, it's going to make things a lot easier. So that's it. Keep you updated. Alright, so here's something that I didn't see at first. So I took this guy off right here. I'm in the process of removing this. There's one bolt seems to be underneath there. I'm not sure about this part. But underneath this bracket here, I did not see at all. And it goes right in here. See, this is, here's your tire, or disc, your shock, towards the front, right in there. And it sits kind of right in there, tucked in behind this wire, and basically holds everything nicely together like that. I don't know if you can see that. Just like that. So by removing those 3 bolts, there's 1, 2, and there's another third one in here. I'll try and see if I can, there, right down there. So basically by removing those 3, I was able to pull on this bracket and remove it, and now the top, this part of the fender is loose in here. So the only thing that seems to be holding it now are towards the front. This is the front of the Jeep here. It seems that there's in here, if I move the wires out of the way, I see a couple of bolts down in there. So I think there's 2, possibly even 3. Yeah, there's a third one up there. 1, 2, there's 3 bolts in there. So I'll remove those and keep you posted once again. I'm getting pretty close. All right, so before I actually go ahead and remove this thing, because I'm pretty close, down here there's this wire that connects the signal light, the front signal light, the side signal light, and the fog light here. And basically these were held in by these little clips right here. There's 3 of them. There's 1, and then there's 2 down here. Down here somewhere. Another one here. It's 2. And so basically you could see the hole. Sorry for the shaking. Right there, there's 1 here, and then there's 1 here, and there's another one back there. And typically they would be just you know, these things here. So that's basically what's holding it onto that. I'm gonna have to remove this, and that's also held in by just some kind of a clip, and I guess that comes through here. And I don't think I have to remove this skirt, this rubber skirt. I think it'll just follow with the fender. Now, I did remove 1 8mm bolt. This is part of the front and back skirt right here, or the running board. And there's 1 8mm. There's 2 actually, 2 of them. 1 here and 1 here. 8mm bolt. I don't know if I had to remove those or not, but I did remove it. And behind here, there seems to be a rivet that's holding everything in line. So I tried removing it. I thought it was a number 6, but it doesn't seem to be. But everything seems to be pretty loose right now. So I'm going to give that a tug, see if I can pull that away. And once it's off, I'll update you as to how I did on that, right?